All right, so today we're going to be looking at the vertex form of a quadratic. This is kind of a redo of last year's lesson because I needed to tweak it a little bit. Okay, now, yep. So remember our A right here tells us if it's negative, we rotate at the x-axis. If it's greater than 1, it's a stretch. If it's less than 1, it's a compress or shrink. Now, I'll get to this where if we do this, it would be rotated and then stretched. Okay, I'll talk about that soon. All right. And then we have our H, which is, the bane of everybody's existence because it's the opposite of what it's supposed to be. You know, this is why you don't do drugs, kids. Okay. And, you know, the value is opposite. It's what's given. K is the easiest thing. Now, instead of actually having you graph on paper, okay, because grading graphs is, let's just say, I would rather do anything else than grade people's graphs. But if you know how to get to the points of it like this and the characteristics, you should be able to know how to pick out the graphs, especially on a standardized test where there's 4 choices. Okay, now this ratio thing right here of 1A and 3A, I'm going to explain that a little bit more. Some people grasp it, some people don't. It's a easier way to get your points, and I like easy. I think y'all like easy. Okay. And then this last part right here of the maximum and minimum. All right. So, for instance, when A is positive, it opens up like this. The lowest point is going to be your vertex, and then your highest point is going to go to infinity. Well, conversely, if it's A is negative, okay, this would be your vertex, and then it goes to negative infinity and beyond. Okay, this is actually one of those times that somebody wrote Buzz Lightyear, and I counted it. Okay, so that's well and good. We've got definitions and stuff, but let's actually try to put this to practice. Okay, all right, all right, all right. All right, is everybody good here? Yeah. All right. And I know for those that just walked in, don't worry. I'll have the completed notes on school as you later. Okay. Or maybe your elbow partner would be nice and share if you can actually read their writing. All right. So let's look at this one. Okay. So you're going to be asked to state the axis of symmetry, the vertex, points needed to graph it, any transformation in the max and min. These are all the characteristics that you would actually have to do for this. Now, as we're going through, what is A right here? What's this number right here? 1. Awesome. Okay. And it's positive. So we know our max is already going to be infinity. We could go ahead and write that if we wanted to. Okay. What is our H value on this one? 0. Okay. And this is where our H value goes, is right here. This is also your axis of symmetry. Yeah, some of this actually gets filled in really quick. Okay. And what is your K value right here? Yeah, also 0. So remember our vertex is H, K, And then our minimum is going to be the same as our vertex for this one. This is going to be 0, 0. Okay. Now, transformations. Guess guess what? There's none. This is actually the parent function. Okay. There's none for this one. There's actually, because this is the parent function. This is the, like, this is your base model, your generic uh, graph right here. All right. As we're looking on the number line, if zero's right here, well, 1 should be here. And this is on the x-axis. And then -1, -2. Okay. I told y'all this gets filled up really quick. It looks like a lot of blanks, and all of a sudden, like, you blink and I'm done. This algebra 2. Yeah. All right. So these two y values have a ratio of 1a. Okay. Well, so 1a, that's 1 times our a value, which is 1, right? So what's 1 times 1? 1. Okay. So we take that and add it to 0. So what's 0 plus 1? Yup. Okay. These are 3a, which is 3 times 1, which is 3. So we have to add 3 to what we have right here. So what's 1 plus 3? Ah, whew. Thank you. Somebody answered. I got kind of worried. We had a really good test yesterday, and I didn't, might have knocked out the regular adding, subtracting sense. All right. So that's actually kind of how this will go. Okay. I do the I've had students that like me to put the AH and K stuff on there for when you're doing the test. I don't grade it. It's just extra. Some of y'all were writing it already on yesterday's test for the A, B, and C for the quadratic formula, and that stuff we're going to look at, on Monday. Okay. So, all right. So hopefully this may be a little bit less foggy than it was at the beginning, right? Yeah. Did y'all see how everything filled up really quick? Yeah. These actually go really quick. Okay. All right. Number 2. All right. So, what is our A right here for number 2? 2. Okay. We could go ahead and say that transformation if we wanted to. Yeah. So this has a stretch of 2. All right. Oh, also, we know because this is positive, this is going to have an infinity. All right. What is our H value? 0. And it goes in these spots right here. Just, I mean, we've only really looked at 2 things and we've got a whole lot of this filled out. And our K value is 0. And remember, the max is this because the A is positive. Okay. Now let's find our points we need to graph. Well, this kind of looks the same way. right here. All right. So for 1A, that would be 1A. So this is 1 times what? 2, which is what? What's 1 times 2? 2. Okay. So we take this and we add 2 to it. So what's 0 plus 2? 2. Some of y'all are like, when's the hard part coming? Some of y'all might be like, this is the hard part. All right. Now we have 3A, which is again 3 times 2. We get 6. Okay. So we take this value right in front of it, which is 2. What is 2 plus 6? Now, ain't this more fun than graphing? I mean, I don't like graphing. I don't like graphing because I can't draw. I can't even draw with a ruler the right way. It is a personal problem. And I'm going to tell y'all about it. All right. So we've done 2. Seem a little bit, maybe, kind of, sort of, maybe starting to click. Maybe. Okay. Some of y'all are like, I am not going to say anything, Jeffries. I know you. You started off with 2 easy problems. You're going to throw a hard one at us here in a second. It's going to hit us in the face. We're going to be down on the ground bleeding. Maybe. All right. So, on 3, what is our A value? -1. That changes some stuff now. So we have a rotate at x-axis. Okay. That also tells us because our A is negative, our minimum is negative infinity. All right. What's our H value? 0. Okay. And our K value is, yeah, 0. I got really worried because we hadn't had a H and a K in any of these examples right now. And then all of a sudden, nobody answered anything. All right. So our 0 goes here, and then here, and here. Okay. And remember, because our A is negative, this is going to look like the frowny face. Okay. It's sad. It's a sad math problem. All right. So this time for our 1A, we're saying 1 times -1, which is, yes. All right. So what is 0 minus 1? Yeah. Now, y'all don't be filling me with false hope here, okay? All right. Now for 3A, we have 3 times -1, which is -3. Okay. So we -1 minus 3, or -1 plus -3, either way. Okay. So we've done three basic ones, right? Oh, I'm sorry for those listening at home. So, yeah. What do you need? Okay. So, excuse me for the sneezing. All right. Let's look at this one. Okay. This one looks different, but we're still going to do about the same stuff. Okay. Notice I'm still doing this with you. I'm not turning you loose yet. Where are you going to take it? Is there anybody in there right now? Okay. Okay. So, what's our A value? 3. Okay. So, we could go ahead and say what that is. Since it's 3, we have a stretch 3. Yeah, because it says in the following, hey, FYI, BT dubs, TBH, this is how it's going to look on the test. Okay. A is describe the transformations. B is state the axis of symmetry. State the vertex. Find the points needed to graph. State the max. State the min. Okay. And yes, because A is positive, the max would be positive infinity. Okay. Now, our H value, remember it's the opposite of what's here. So what's the opposite of -1? Yeah. Yeah. So that means that we would go to the right one. And then this goes here, 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 and one more time right here in the middle. Okay. All right. And our K value is 2. So this goes up 2. We put a 2 here. We put a 2 here and a 2 here. All right. Is everybody caught up with me at this point right here before I tried to? I don't want to try to explain the next part if you're still writing down this part because you won't get it. Okay, because this is the first time we actually have an A that's bigger than 1 or 2, a -1, and we have different H's and K's. All right. So for our 1A ratio, if our A is 3, what is 1 times 3? 3. Okay. So we take this 2 and we add 3 to it, which is 5. Yes. Yay. All right. Now for 3A, yeah, I hadn't done the X's yet. I'm going to go back. Okay. For 3A, what's 3 times 3? 9. So we would take 5, we would add 9 to it. Yes, there's somebody in the attic working on the air conditioning units right now. Every time that somebody's up there, I'm always worried like one of the canisters they have, a tool, or a person is going to fall through the ceiling. That would that would get me a lot of views. Okay. So, if we are finishing up our x's right here, if this is the number 1, what's just to the right of number 1? Okay. And then what's to the left? Just like it would be on the x number line. Okay, I got some who farted faces about that. Like, why is it like that? Okay, good luck. Remember, the x is on that's our horizontal at our x-axis. If 1 is here, 2 numbers to the left are 0 and -1. To the right are 2 and 3. You're like, I hear you. I agree with you. It's just not clicking. Okay. Oh, no. Hey, look, here's the deal, Pickles. If y'all have a question or need something clarified, I guarantee you there's at least 1 to 2 other people in this class that needs it. They just don't want to ask. Yes. What color? Brown. Okay. So this is our x values, like on our x number line. Lulu. All right, hang on. Got lots of stuff going on here. Lots of stuff. Okay. So if this is 1 right here, to the right of that, this would be 2 and 3. To the left, this is 0 and then -1, like on the X number line. I had to write them like that because my handwriting's bad. And if I were to write them all together, hang on. Search. Wow, really? No. All right, look, I have a number line. If this is 0, to the right is 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to infinity, right? Left is -1, -2, all the way to negative infinity. I started right here because that was my H value. Okay. So if I start right here, my 2 numbers to the right are 2 and 3, and 2 numbers to the left are 0 and -1. All right. Let's try another one. See if it clicks. Because you're like, I still listen to you, but it's just not clicking. Yeah, it's okay. And trust me, I know with some of y'all, the only thing that's clicking is your phone, your fingers on the phone because you're not paying attention. Okay. All right. Whoa. Crazy. All right. Here we go. Number 5. Yeah, we got a freaking fraction. It's okay. All right. What is A? 1/2. We know it's positive, so our max is infinity. Okay. And because this is a fraction, this would be a shrink or compress, whatever. Shrink is easier, right? Less words. 1/2. And yes, if you write it as a decimal, I know what 0.5 is as a decimal. Okay. Now, our h value, remember it's the opposite. So instead of being -2, this is +2. This means we go to the right 2. Okay. And our k value is 4. So this means up 4. I forgot to do this. All right, before we start finding our y values, I'm going to let some of y'all catch up. And let's see if I can do a better job at explaining how we get these x values. Okay, so if this is 2 on the number line, what number comes after 2? And then what number comes after 3? Okay, so those two we got. So if this is 2 and I go, what's a number less than 2? Okay, and then what's a number less than 1? 0. Okay, that's it. Were you trying to make it too hard? Oh, well, don't. This is not the class for that. All right. Yeah. Now we get to have some fun. Now we get to do some fractions. Fractions are okay, but 5 out of 4 people don't understand fractions. No. All right. So if we add a half to 4, yeah, 4 and 1/2. Let's write it as a decimal so it's cleaner, okay? That would be 4.5. Okay. This is 3 over 2, and that is 1.5. There's a reason I did decimals for this for y'all to understand. Okay. So if I have 4.5 and I add 1.5, huh? 6. And that's it. All right. As the students that are sitting around me are trying to figure out what the heck is going on, uh, is there another problem or does it stop at 5? Okay, stops at 5. We're going to pause here. As you can tell by the noise in the background, the 3 people that's been asleep the whole time and now have woken up and decided to cause havoc. So don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.